You know, what happened is what I learned today is that I paid thousands of dollars to learn how to invest, and never taught me about tax advantage. They would stop me at tax later. So I never got the advantage. And I didn't even pay for this class today. And I lost thousands of dollars today. I would say I paid thousands of dollars for this class today.
Many of you said that you wanted me to continue to unpack here from watching this video, the 4 homes of money, to continue to unpack the 3 tax buckets. So that's what we're gonna do here in this video, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. What's cracking, everybody? Money Smart Guy Matt Sapala here, hailing to you from the 7 Figure Squad studio here in Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. And tonight, we actually open up our office here for a little small workshop here. Everybody's socially distanced, got masks on, they got sanitizers on, but people want to connect, people want to get together, and we open up our office here to actually do a live workshop here to share the 3 tax buckets, because people want to say, hey, how do we get this broken down so therefore we can understand it, we can explain it, we can implement it, and obviously we can manifest whatever we got going on in our savings and our financial future for 2021. I also want to say this, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not an investment advisor, I'm purely just educating people what they need to be asking people on 3 major areas, which not only includes losses, the fees they pay and the things to mitigate, but also more importantly tonight, we'll be discussing the 3 tax buckets: tax now, tax later, tax never. So here's one of our workshops done live. Check this out. Money Smart Guy Matt Sapala here, and as many of you know, my background is in the military, and this is my transition career. I thought I was going to get my GI Bill. I thought I was going to do the Illinois Veterans Grant. When you enlist in the military in Illinois, you come back to Illinois to pay for your 4-year college degree, whether it's Northern Illinois, Southern Illinois, Eastern, Western Illinois, any state-funded college basically. But the bite of entrepreneurship bit me, and I think that's what many of you are feeling right now. And once you grab a hold of entrepreneurship and you realize what you're worth, what your self-worth, what you could be, what you potentially become, you know, you don't look at life and money and your life the same way again. So I'm glad you guys are here in the midst of this pandemic year, 2020. And guys, we just want to let you guys know it's, you know, collectively speaking, we've done much better this year as a company than we did last year. If you look at the Money Smart organization, we got our guys making more money this year than last year. You just saw, you know, John Mason. He was up here, he just flew up here last Friday. We did some business planning. He's at $800,000 of income. He went from $350,000 to $800,000 from 2019 to 2020 this year. All from the pandemic, all from the Zoom and just working with people online. You saw Danny Singson earlier in the year on Zooms. He right now is collectively at $340,000 of income. You got the Swazos, you got the Hansberries, you got the Mackeys. They're all over $200,000. Vic and Anna, well over $200,000 to $270,000, $280,000 respectively. So we got many of our guys. You saw how many guys saw Andre and Jackie Jackson? Oh, yeah. Right? They're from Oak Brook. They were part of our base shop until they relocated last year to Charlotte, North Carolina. They just crossed over $100,000 of income, in control of their time, freedom, just happy. And so, you know, this is what America was built on. This is what a lot of us don't see in schools. And I go back to my senior year in high school, where I was, you know, those elective classes you take, and say, hey, you're not taking math, science, take a fun class. Okay, let me take Intro to Business 101. You know, that's what they call electives. And I remember for the very first time being exposed to a business person, a legit business person actually teaching. And the reason why I was paying attention to it is because Mr. Weiss owned Michael Anthony's Pizza in Berwyn. And during birthdays and holidays, everybody would order from Michael Anthony's Pizza. It's right there on Ogden and Oak Park. Ogden and Religion, one of those two, right? And so he owned Michael Anthony's Pizza. And I'm listening to him because he's coming from a position of credibility, because he's leading with moral authority, because he owns a business. He's not somebody teaching business, he's in business. And I think sometimes, you know, I was talking to my kids because they're about to go to college, and they're thinking twice about college now because they realize that they're learning from professors who talk about academia, but they're not doing, right? And Papi, do we go to college? I said, baby, I want to let you know, I never went to school, and I can't tell you to be financially free and financially independent that college is the route to go to. It's a route, but it's not the only route, because your dad took another route, which is the route of entrepreneurship. And through this route of entrepreneur that many of you are on, you're taking steps, you're taking steps, you're taking steps. Along the way, guess what you get to learn? The rules of the money game. You get to learn the rules of money. You get to learn how money works. You get to learn what we're going to be talking about tonight with the three tax buckets and how these tax buckets affect you. Why? What's going on in the economy today? Okay, we've got a Democratic president about to come into office. Well, guys, if you believe Biden or the president-elect or Trump or not, most likely we're going to have a Democratic president. What does he say in his campaign? I'm going to raise taxes. He's got to raise taxes. And on the same note, he's going to say, I'm also going to cut the Trump Cuts Jobs Act. So I'm going to get rid of all the Trump Cuts Act. So what are we expecting? We're also expecting what? Elizabeth Warren's, hey, we need to, what's Elizabeth Warren's message? We need to pay off student loan debt. Get rid of all of it. Bernie Sanders, we need to have Medicare for all. So all these programs for the government to help. Here's the biggest question, though. Who's going to pay for it? Who pays for this type of stuff? So if that's what America wants, okay, no problem. If that's what you voted, okay. Some of us agree with it, some of us agree with it, but that's the world we live in. That's America. So we have to pay for these things. How are we going to pay for these things? By income taxes. So how you make money and how you earn money is going to be predicated about how much of that money you keep based on how you grow it. Okay? And so when we're talking about this is one of the things that we have is the crusade. How many of you guys know about our crusade, right? So we talk about this crusade, how money works, how money grows. This is part of that presentation. This is part of extended conversations. It's a one-sheeter that you guys can obtain. But I'm reading this current article here from Elon Musk, about Elon Musk. It was written 3 o'clock this afternoon, okay? So what's going on in California? Is it a low-income tax state or a high-income tax state?
High.
The highest in the United States, especially for making millions of dollars. So, by the way, we also have a Democratic governor here. His name is Governor Pritzker. What was he trying to do during the elections with the taxes? He was trying to raise taxes a little higher. By the way, you don't realize it because you guys are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But here in Illinois, he was trying to raise taxes. Because right now in Illinois, we have what they call a flat tax. So no matter how much money you make, 4.95%, that's what you pay in taxes. It's a flat tax, okay? So no matter how much you make, 4.95% goes to cousin Illinois. Whatever you pay in terms of federal income goes to Uncle Sam. The state income tax goes to cousin Illinois, yes? So what happens is, during the election, he spent $58 million, Pritzker's, of his own money to campaign to raise income called the progressive tax hike to let people know that, hey, I'm going to raise taxes in Illinois. We have a pension system we can fund. We got school system we can fund. We've got to raise taxes. But how did Illinois vote? No. Woo! Because before the vote, before the election, Illinois was saying yes. The funny thing is about that, he spent, $58 million of his own money to campaign to raise income tax, progressive state income tax. The biggest donors who funded that campaign spent or contributed no more than $1,500. That told you how much Illinois believed in raising income tax. So when push came to shove, they really didn't believe it, but they just kind of did it to just, I guess, go along with it, but they didn't go nowhere. But does that mean that the next governor or the next year or the next time it comes up, that he's not going to try some move like this ever again? Probably. So when we're looking at taxes, there's 3 different ways money grows. This is what we call the 3 tax buckets. And when I'm reading what Elon Musk is in California, because in California, if you make over $1 million, 13.3% of your income goes to state income tax. You make over $1 million, 13.3% of your income goes to tax. I'm not talking about federal income tax. We're just talking about the state of California. So here's Elon Musk. Who's Elon Musk the CEO of? Tesla and SpaceX and a couple other companies, right? How did he make his money though? What was his claim to fame? He created PayPal. He made his billions with PayPal, and right there he invested in 2 different companies. So he says here, Tesla's CEO Elon Musk has just joined 1/5 of Americans who have done a pandemic move. What are we talking about? After spending most of his life in California, Musk has relocated to Texas. Why? He cited the construction of his Tesla factory outside Austin, as well as SpaceX's planned launch near South Texas village of Boca Chica, as a factor in his move. However, he also criticized California's economic environment as another reason. He says, if a team is winning for too long, the state of California, they tend to get complacent. California's been winning for a long time, and I think they took it for granted. So what's happening? In California, who do they lose? Joe Rogan. You guys know Joe Rogan? Mm-hmm. He's a very popular podcast, a fight commentary. He said, peace out, California. He moved. Ben Shapiro, he moved out of there, right? Patrick Bet-David, he moved out of California years ago. And now, Elon Musk. Here's a challenge with it. Do you think Elon Musk, you think Tesla and his businesses, related business in Silicon Valley helps the local community? Guess where those jobs are potentially going to go now to, right? And so here's the thing. We have to give, with that being said, in terms of relocation, we have to give an award. I'm sure he deserves some recognition because he's the #1 salesman for U-Haul. He's the #1 sales for Allied Freight, the #1 salesperson for Fathers and Sons Moving Company. But the #1 salesperson for these moving companies, U-Haul included, is Governor Newsom. Because he's causing everybody to move. And so when you're looking at what's going on, he said, Musk argued that Silicon Valley, home to some of the largest and most influential companies in the world. What's in Silicon Valley? Facebook, Salesforce, Apple, right? This is like the epicenter of entrepreneurship, Silicon Valley. He says, peace out. He says here in his article, it seems that leaving California has been on Musk's mind for a while. He goes, I will own no home. He sold all 4 of his homes in California for a combined $62.5 million. He's ready to go. And then he also says, the billionaire CEO, it also says in an article, the billionaire CEO is slated to earn more than $50 billion in stock options. So here's the thing about wealthy people. Do they make money with salary and commissions, or are they making money with dividends and capital gains? See, wealthy people, when it comes to salary and it comes to commissions, right? They don't make their money that way. Do they make a little bit? Of course. But it's based on the highest amount of taxes you can be taxed on, which is income, salary, and commission earned income. Where wealthy people make money is on dividends and capital gains. It's the least amount of income that's taxed. So he's slated to earn more than $50 billion in stock options, and he would have to pay income taxes on the profits when he exercises them if he remained where? In California. Texas, however, guess how much state income tax is in California? In Texas. 0. There's 0 income taxes in Nevada, 0 income taxes in Texas, 0 income taxes in Tennessee, Delaware, and Florida. Right? What state? It's a commonwealth, right? Right? But I know you want to be part of the country, right? Or be your own country, right? So Musk, however, recently surpassed Bill Gates as the 2nd richest man in the world. Believe it or not. His net worth now sits at $128 billion after increasing by $100 billion this year. So he's making a lot of money. Who's the #1 richest man in the world? Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Guess where he lives? Washington. So it kind of tells you what's going on in California. They're losing their best people. And here's the thing too. Recommended book, recommended 3-part DVD series that everybody here, if you consider that you want to change your life because of entrepreneurship, you have to either read the book or watch the 3-part DVD series called Atlas Shrugged. Atlas Shrugged, okay? Phenomenal story about understanding a big government, the challenges of bureaucracy, the heroes of entrepreneurship, and the opportunities that are creating problems, and the solutions that are created through those issues, and who helps who. Great book, great DVD series to watch. Atlas Shrugged. Why? Because after a while, if people don't take care of their people start to leave. And that's what's starting to happen to California. And if Illinois is not, by the way, what's happening in Illinois? Their #1 vacated state, the last few years is what state? Illinois. We're starting to lose people. And so when you're thinking about the 3 tax buckets, there's 3 main ways if you're growing your money. I'm not talking about income. I talked about income, how to make money, what was taxed. But when you're talking to clients, when you're talking to folks, when you're talking to people that you serve, when you're talking about people helping people, help people understand the 3 ways money gets taxed. 3 tax buckets called tax now, tax later, or tax deferred, or tax never, or tax advantaged. Let me explain. So, for example, tax now. Let's say you have your money in a bank. You have a bank money in a CD. You have it in a non-qualified brokerage account, stocks, bonds, mutual brokerage, right? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds. You make money, right? You make money. That year, you also get what? Taxed, right? That's why it's called tax now. You make money, gets taxed. Your salary, you make money now, you get taxed later at the end of the year. You make money in a CD, you get a 1099-INT. You buy stock, you sell stocks, you get a 1099, right? And so you make money, which is cool, but you also have to have a net gain based on how much money you have to pay in tax. So the cool part is you're in control of this. It's probably more liquid because it's not wrapped up in a 401k or wrapped up in some form of illiquid investment. But you put your money inside here, you grow your money, and then later on that year, you got to pay tax on it. That's one way to grow money. Second way to grow money, with a lot of people that are exposed to, is 401ks, right? So if you're working for a for-profit company, it's a 401k. If you're working for a nonprofit, usually what is it called? 403B, tax sheltered annuity, TSA. You're working for a municipality, a city, so 457, sometimes called a deferred comp plan. Working for the federal government, TSP, third savings plan, right? So these things are taxed later. Sometimes when you sit down with people, how many times have you sat down with clients, you sat down with people, and they don't even know how their 401k works? All the time, right? My company's got salary, benefits, NA, 401k. How does it work? Don't know. Right? I got a TSP. Great. How does the A fund work? The B fund work? The C fund? The D fund? What's inside the A fund, B fund, D fund, G fund? I don't know. It's the G, generic. Right? So you're working for the federal government. You don't know what's inside those funds. You don't. Right? You got to unpack also what the fees are. So the three things that affect the growth of your money. One of them is taxes. We're discussing that right now. In later conversations, we'll also be discussing fees, cost, fees, and expenses. Because let's say you make a 10% rate of return, a 5% rate of return, a 3% rate of return. What will reduce that return is the taxes you pay on it, the fees that you get charged, and who knows, I hope that you keep your gains, but what will affect your money is also the losses you might experience in future years if you keep your money in something that also is exposed to losses. So there's three things you got to mitigate: taxes, fees, and losses. Things you have to meaning minimize or therefore eliminate. So when you're growing your money, you have to figure out, is it taxed now, is it taxed later, or is it taxed never? Oftentimes people are exposed to this. Why? Because this is at their job. And sadly, sometimes they have or misplaced loyalty, right? You know, I got loyalty because my job's taking care of me. You got to detach yourself from your job, who pays you, and how you manage your own money. Because this right here, back in the day, you used to have pensions. Remember those things back in the day? And guess what happens? You had a pension. Depending on what pension you work for. I'm not talking about the railroad, but usually the pension, when it comes out, now it's what? Taxed. You make money, for example, my mother, she worked for the city of Chicago. She worked at Stroger Hospital, otherwise known as Cook County, right? She got her pension now from her job. It gets taxed. She gets her Social Security number now, or Social Security number. She gets her Social Security income. Guess what? That gets taken. That gets taxed, and some of it's taken away in Medicare. So oftentimes people say, you know, I'm going to have a pension and Social Security, but guess what nails it? Taxes. And so people say, you know, let me ask you this question. If you had a choice of when to pay taxes, okay? This is how I share tax later. If you had the choice when to pay taxes, would you rather pay taxes on your penny seeds in the spring, or do you want to pay taxes on your $1 million harvest in the fall? If you're going to pay 25%, do you want to pay it on pennies, or do you want to pay 25% on millions? Pennies. So if you're going to tax me, I've had a choice, tax me now. So that's where this comes in. That's where the tax advantage comes in. So let me pay taxes now, okay? So therefore, when it grows, no more taxes, right? Taxes gone. Taxes, see ya, peace out. Because why? I paid it earlier. So right now, in terms of tax environment, compared to the totality of our government and how much they've taxed America, are we in one of the highest income tax brackets in the history of America, or one of the lowest income tax brackets in the history of America? We're one of the lowest. We're in one of the lowest income tax environments in the entire history of the United States. So, with that being said, where do you think? I want to pay off student loans. I want to put Medicare for all, Medicare for everyone. I want to have everybody have a, what do you call the UBI, Universal Basic Income, where everybody gets a check no matter what you do. You know, have you heard about that? Universal, yes. Okay. Andrew Yang was the Democratic candidate. He said, listen, I want everybody to get a minimum income. I want everybody to have $2, $3, $4, $5, whatever, $1,500 a month, $2,000, $3,000, no matter what. I want everybody, if you have a Social Security in America and you're a United States citizen, everybody's going to have a UBI, a Universal Basic Income. No matter what, you're going to get a check. So let me ask you guys a question. A little off topic. What do you think you handled better the most? Money that you earned, that you worked hard for, or money that's just been given to you? Christmas is about to come up, right? Some of you guys have buy some presents for your kids, your grandkids, right? You're about to buy some presents. No, you worked hard for your money. You went shopping. You love care and attention. You wrap the presents. You know, put the right. You put the seal on it. You put the tape on it. You put the little bow on it. You put their name on it from Santa, right? You put it on the tree, right? You see their eyes. Christmas. Wow, my God, Santa. Da, da, da. Whatever your morning ritual is, whether you do open presents on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning, you see their eyes light up. Oh my God, the joy comes out. Okay, what happens to that present, that toy, a week later?
Under the couch.
Under the couch, broken. Hey, pick up your toys. Put it away. Why are you saying that? Why are you telling them to take care of it?
Paid for it.
Because you paid for it. Why don't they take care of it? Because it's not theirs. They have no responsibility. They had no skin in the game. But you did. You see what I'm talking about? Possibly that's the way a lot of us see America. So if we're just getting a government check, what do you take care more of? The apartment you rent or the condo you own? The car that you rented or the car that you bought? Even if you are financing it. How many guys rented a car? You ever rented a car? Before you turn it in, Christian, before you turn it in, did you wash it? Did you take out all the in and out? All right, did you take out the McDonald's or whatever you eat inside the car? Did you vacuum it before you turned it in? Right? By the way, did you dog it out? Did you like hit right? I bet you did. You dogged out the car and hit the brakes a little too hard, probably a lot more sharper than your own car. You turn it back in. Why didn't you take care of that? Some of you guys are even reluctant to even fill up the gas before you turn it in. Damn it. Why you got to fill it? I'm not you. I fill it up. Why do you use it? Why? Because it's your money. You see it going away. So we take care of things that we own. That's what makes America America. Ownership of titles, deeds, right? Those are things that we own. Ownership. That's why 2 claps in ownership. That's why we say ownership, because it's business ownership, life ownership, financial ownership that makes us us. So if you had a choice between paying taxes, do you want to wait to get taxed? This is what America's setting you up for. They say, hey, just go ahead, grow your money. Keep contributions. Hey, awesome. Here's the traditional knowledge. Maximize your 401k contributions. That's your traditional knowledge, right? Sure, no problem. But guess what? It grows. And guess what possibly might happen in the future if today we're in one of the lowest income tax environments in America, and they have free college education, free health care, universal basic income, all these different things. Free, and America's paying for it. Where do you think taxes are going to go in the future? Possibly higher. And if it's higher, guess what now? More of your money is exposed to taxes as compared to what people are paying taxes in 2018, 19, and 20. When you retire in 2020, 29 or 2039, 2050, possibly you might be in a higher income tax bracket. And more of your money is exposed to federal income tax. And I'm not even talking about cousin Illinois or cousin California. So here is a big pocket of, wow, America's just kind of setting us up. And here's the thing. Do you think the IRS knows what you have in there? Of course they do. What do you think when you fill out your taxes? You fill out your 1040? You know what they ask you to do? How much money did you put in your IRA, your individual IRA, your individual retirement account? Because why? When you roll over your 401k, guess what it goes into? Into an IRA. You leave your nonprofit job. Guess what 403B goes into? Your IRA, your 457, IRA, your TSP, IRA. Do they know what you got in your IRA? Yes. And they have to do what they call this ERISA testing. Every year, if you have a 401k, for example, if you have your own business, you have to go what they call ERISA testing. You have to have an auditor come in. They audit what you have in your 401k. Who's contributing to the 401k? Is it what they call top heavy, or is more the executives put in there, putting more money in there? Is the lower income earning people, the company putting money, is it too top heavy? Because otherwise we got to disclaim it. We could get rid of it. It's called ERISA testing. Guess what they're doing? Reporting it. So they pretty much know what's in these plans. And guess what they want to do? Unlock this in the form of income taxes to pay for all the federal stuff down the road. That's what the future of America is banking on. Now, if you had a choice, though, would you rather pay tax now and say, let me get away from all this, or out for this? That's why America needs you. That's why we need to educate people on the different choices, because oftentimes people say, this is all I know. But there's other options out there. So what are these things here? You got your municipal bonds. What else you got? Roth IRAs. What else? Yeah, life insurance. Under IRS code 7702, you can grow your money, you can access your money, you can transfer money without paying a dime in tax. Roth IRAs, you can pay taxes now, but down the road you don't pay a dime in tax. So all these different things that a lot of people in America just don't know. And that's why you and I are in business today, to educate people on these different things. So going back over here, taxes is a big reason why a lot of people don't get ahead to where they want to go. They might earn a rate of return. They might earn a decent rate of return, gets ahead of inflation. But they have to pay a lot of money in taxes. What also drags that down is also fees, cost, fees, and expenses. By the way, yeah, do you think this is managed for free? You think somebody's doing this out of kindness and goodness of their nonprofit heart? Of course not. Somebody's getting money management fees. Somebody's making fees. But if you look at all the lists of all the fees that these companies charge, and a lot of people just don't know about it, you'd be shocked. And so somebody said, well, Matt, is there fees inside Roth IRAs? Are there fees inside life insurance? Of course there are. But if you look at what you get for what you pay, then that's what you have to analyze. So if people are going to be paying for something, you have to figure out what they're paying for, what they're paying, and what they're paying for. And last but not least, we mentioned this in the 5 Gotchas of Money, 5 Gotchas of Money workshop, is one of the things that sabotage your income and sabotage your money is when your money is exposed to losses. So for example, Hector, if I lost 10% this year, what do I need in terms of rate of return this coming year to make sure I'm back to square one?
I need more than 10%.
Yeah, you need
20.
you need 12. You need 12. If you lost 25% of your money, you need, right, 32%. If you lost 50% of your money, you need 100% to get you back to square one. And 2 years just went by with you making zero money. Go ahead, Ali.
Do you want to add, is there any contribution limits on the Roth IRA versus life insurance?
One more time, there's a Harley Davidson up here, was it?
Is there any contribution limits on Roth IRAs versus life insurance?
Yeah, okay, cool. So the question is there any contribution limits? So inside 401ks, yes, there's a limit of how much money you can put here. Inside a properly structured life insurance contract, there is no limit because it's based on the amount of death benefit you have inside the policy. So if you want to put more money inside a properly structured life insurance contract used for not only the death benefit, but also to take advantage of the Rule 7702, you just have to increase the amount of death benefit you have in life insurance you're applying for so you can shove all the cash. So instead of saying, I don't want to just put, $5,000 in it, I want to put $10,000 in it in 1 year, you just got to increase what? The amount of death benefit. But you can still stuff that cash inside there according to the rules of 7702. The fancy rules are TEFRA, DEFRA, and TAMRA, right? These are the fancy rules you got to buy with 1982, 84, and 88. These are just fancy laws that you'll eventually learn over time, how to properly structure a life insurance contract to maximize cash accumulation growth. But these right here, there's a limit on how much money you can put in. If you're over a certain age, you can add more money. But guess what comes out when you start pulling this money out for income? Taxes. So let's say you need $100,000, okay? And we're at a 33%, 34, 35% income tax. I'm just talking about federal. You actually got to pull out 150. You got it? Mm-hmm. Pay the tax of the 50, so therefore you can net 100,000. Tax never, tax advantage. If you need 100,000, guess what you pull out? $100,000. Because why? Because you pay the taxes in the beginning. So in other words, what happens to the other $50,000 that you didn't have to pull out over here? What happens to that? It continues to increase in value over time. So instead of having unnecessarily take it out to pay income tax or whatever federal income tax rate is 20, 30, 40 years down the road, you're allowed to still grow and compound and earn a rate of return. So this is a basic fundamental of how to win the money game and understand where to have your money grow. Now, what Christian was saying, that this business literally saved my mother's life. Do you know why he said that for some of you that are here that are new? Because he structured something like this similar for his mom. And so, a couple years into it, after her owning the policy?
8 months.
8 months after her owning the policy, in October of that year of all months, she comes down with breast cancer. And she fought through it, survived it. And in the meantime, guess what he was getting? He was getting harassed by his friend. You got left AT&T. You be insurance. You did it. You selling life insurance now. You're not selling AT&T. Well, you go back to do physical therapy. Yeah. You guys help out my mom? You help my mom? You help her with the house? Deliver food? Help out clean up around the house? No. Okay. Guess what? So I delivered to my mom. I delivered to her a living benefit. I gave her a check, so therefore she can pay off her medical bills. What did you do for my mom? For everybody harassing me, that's what he did to his mom. We were thinking that it was going to be structured for this, but guess what? Life happens. Life happened. And guess what? Financially prepared. Was she in line at the Section 8? Was she in line at WIC? Was she in line at iLink? She wasn't a burden on to anybody. Why? Because she took financial responsibility. And you wonder why the government allows these things to happen? Because here's what life insurance does. The insurance has an arrangement with the government. The insurance industry says, give us certain tax benefits so we can make a financial package that incentivizes citizens in America to take personal responsibility for themselves. So therefore, they're less lenient on the government, and if they're less lenient on the government to allow the government to do what they need to do with the tax income, and they don't have to ask for money when emergencies does happen, we're going to give them significant tax advantages to do so. Guess who knows about these tax advantages? The wealthy. Guess who doesn't know about these tax advantages? The multicultural middle class. We don't. That's why we're needed out there. That's why you're in business. That's why there's a crusade for us to go out there and educate America, at least expose them. It's up to them to say, okay, I'm going to do something about it, but at least expose them to the conversation and allow them to help themselves and make an educated decision.
You know, what happened is, what I learned today is that I paid thousands of dollars to learn how to invest, and they never taught me about tax advantage. They would stop me at tax later. So I never got the advantage. And I didn't even pay for this class today. And I lost thousands of dollars today. I would say I paid thousands of dollars for this class today.
Amen. And if you can read this, you're way ahead, bro. Appreciate you guys all the way from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is the burritos.
Or burrito.
Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Love to know your feedback. And if you haven't done so already, please watch this video, The 4 Homes of Money, to continue to put the puzzle piece together of brightening up your financial future for 2021. And for our comment contest, again, we are giving away a free shirt to the top 3 people who comment that answers this question in our comment section below for our comment contest. So here we go. So fill in the blank below. Millionaires consider the tax buckets of tax now, tax later, and tax blank. One more time. Millionaires consider the tax buckets of tax now, tax later, and tax blank. Fill in that blank in the comments section below. Well, this is another episode of Vlogmas 2020. Again, we're doing an episode every day from December 1st to the 24th of December. And if you've been getting value from this, you've been learning some things, please drop your thoughts and comments and feedback in the comments section below. I love the dialogue we got going on back and forth right now. So with that being said, guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you got going on here this time of the year. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today.